all those things clear to you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now listen everyone, switch on your video so that I can see you. Okay, so we had discussed the fate of pyruvic acid as well, isn't it? How it undergoes the alcoholic fermentation, the lactic acid fermentation, and then the aerobic respiration. In this part, do you people have any doubt?
No,
No?
ma'am.
Okay. What about the others? Why are your videos not switched on? Please switch on your videos. Okay. Now, do you people know that when we breathe in, okay, the nasal chamber actually has the functions of humidifying the air, meaning bringing the air to the temperature that is appropriate for the body. Apart from that, the hair present in our nose that helps to trap the airborne dust particles and everything, isn't it? Now, just 1 second, students. I'm just checking one thing.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can
Yes.
you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, yeah.
Ma'am, I was facing difficulty with my mic. I missed one class
All right.
of your class.
Hmm?
So I missed one class of
Okay.
biology, and I had stopped at the liver, around that area, the small intestine.
You missed the class for respiration. Digestion you have attended?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. Okay, I'll see to that. Maybe you'll get the recordings of that particular lecture. Okay. So that you
Okay.
can get caught up. Yes. Now, in the previous class, I had just finished about the human respiratory system. Okay, now our respiratory system contains many things. Now, one more thing to remember here is that our bronchi, okay, our bronchi and bronchioles, mostly the trachea and the bronchi, they are protected by cartilaginous rings. But those rings are not complete. Like rings usually are like this, but the rings that are present in the trachea, they are incomplete cartilaginous rings, sort of like this. Now, why is it there? It is there so as to protect the trachea from collapsing. It is very important because without it, our trachea would collapse. Clear? And also, thing is that since only and only air travels through that passage, right? There is nothing else that travels. So if the air sometimes, if it is not present over there, then that would mean that, okay, it would just go back to being shrunken. So that shrunken thing is being provided with the help of the cartilaginous rings, right? Now we know that the trachea divides into the bronchi, right? And then the bronchi divides into bronchioles, and at the end we have the balloon-like structure that is the alveoli. Now, can someone tell me what is the features of alveoli? What are the special qualities of alveoli? Tell me some like unique features about alveoli. First of all, you'll tell me the function. What is the function? That it is the site of exchange of gases, isn't it? Everyone agrees with this? It is the site where the exchange of gases takes place. Now, apart from that, what are the characteristic features of alveoli? Can someone tell me? Anyone? No one? See, the reason because of which the exchange of gases can take place in the alveoli is because the alveoli is richly supplied with blood vessels. It is richly supplied with blood vessels. Okay? And because of this very reason, the gaseous exchange can take place up in the alveoli. Now, whenever we breathe in, what is that one thing that we feel whenever we take a breathe in? The ribs of our body, they lift up, right? So during breathing in, the lift of the lifting of the rib cage would happen, but at that same time, the diaphragm would flatten. Okay, the rib cage would lift up and the diaphragm would flatten, because of which the chest cavity, the cavity or the volume of the chest increases. Now, do you people know the relation between volume and pressure, students? Anyone who knows that, what is the relation between the volume and the pressure?
Increase in volume is decrease in pressure,
Very
and vice
exactly. So the pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. If the volume increases, the pressure decreases. If the pressure increases, the volume decreases. Now, whenever we breathe in, our ribs lift up and our diaphragm, everyone knows what diaphragm is? And our diaphragm flattens. It is a dome-shaped structure that is present underneath the lungs area. Now, whenever we breathe in, our ribs lift up and our diaphragm flattens, and the volume of chest cavity, increases. Okay, the volume of the chest cavity is increasing. Then what is happening to the pressure of the chest cavity?
decreases.
And the pressure of the chest cavity decreases. Now, whenever there is a decrease in the pressure and outside there is an increase in the pressure, because of which what will happen is that the oxygen from the atmosphere will be getting inside our body, and that is breathing in. Okay, so during breathing in, this, like all of these mechanisms take place, wherein our ribs would lift up, our diaphragm would flatten. Now the volume of the chest cavity becomes larger and the pressure becomes lower. Because of this, the air from the outside comes inside. Because the pressure of the air is higher on the outside. Everyone remembers gradient? Who knows what a gradient is? Anyone? See, gradient is, imagine it like if in one place, the amount of anything in one place is higher, and if the amount of anything in the another place is lower. So this is a gradient, high to low. So whatever thing is here can move from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. Same thing happens with gases. So whenever we breathe in, the volume of our chest cavity increases, because of which the pressure decreases. And when the pressure decreases, outside the pressure is very high, inside the pressure is very low. So the volume or the pressure, because of that pressure gradient, the the air from the outside comes towards the inside, and that causes the breathing in. Clear? And when we breathe out, our diaphragm goes into the dome shaped position, our ribs return to the normal state, the volume of the chest cavity decreases, the pressure inside increases, and outside it is less. So the volume of gases go out. Clear? Just the opposite of it will happen when we breathe out. Is this clear to everyone? Any doubts in this mechanism?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Another thing you should know over here is that, whenever we are breathing in, we can actually alter the breathing, isn't it? You can breathe deep or you can breathe heavily. That can happen because of there are certain muscles that help you to do so. Clear? Now, when in the alveoli, the gaseous exchange takes place, now the oxygen has to be transferred. It has to be transferred throughout the whole body. Now, how will that happen? So they transferring, like when the oxygen is going into the alveoli. For example, this is alveoli. Now this has the oxygen. Now here everything is the body. Now from this alveoli, the oxygen will go and be distributed to the body cells. How? With the help of the blood. Okay. Now our blood has RBC, red blood cell, and those red blood cell contains hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is responsible for carrying oxygen to the body. Okay, so the blood has to be transferred throughout the whole body. This happens by the means of blood. Our blood contains RBCs, red blood cells. Our blood contains the red blood cells, which has a red color pigment, a red colored pigment called hemoglobin. Now this hemoglobin carries oxygen to the whole entire body. Is this much clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts, anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now you people can note this thing down. Just continue it from after you've written about the human respiratory system, then continue from alveoli. Tell me when you're done, students, so that I'll scroll the screen for you.
Done, ma'am.
Done.
Everyone's done? Okay, very good.
Done, ma'am.
Yes.
Everyone? Okay. So with this, we have completed the human respiratory system. Now let us move on to the transportation system, which is found in humans. Now, see, the transportation system in our body, it is actually, you can say, it happens with the help of our heart and the blood. Now, blood, as we all know, that it is the fluid connective tissue. Now, this blood is responsible, and it is actually the component which transports through the entire body. Okay, so the transportation happens with the help of blood. Now, the blood is the fluid connective tissue, and it is like the blood has certain components present. One of the component of the blood is plasma. Now, this plasma is responsible for the transportation of food and also the transportation of carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste. Apart from the plasma, the blood has the cells present that are WBC, RBC, and platelets. Now, the WBCs are known as leukocytes, the RBCs are known as erythrocytes, and then there are platelets. Now, blood is pumped by the heart. Now, our heart is a muscular organ. Now, the heart is made up of cardiac muscles. It is a muscular organ and it has the property of pumping. It can pump so as to make the blood reach different parts of our body. Now, we know that the human heart has 4 chambers in which there are 2 atria and 2 ventricles. So the 2 atria, there is the left atria, there is the right atria, then there is the left ventricle and the right ventricle. So 4 chambers are present in our heart. Okay. But before discussing about the chambers that are present in the heart, we will discuss about the other organisms as well. See, I am leaving this part. This is the whole transportation part. I have written it somewhere else in a better way. So I'm not teaching this right now. Okay. I'll show you a better and clean PDF of this. Now, talking about the heart. See, mammals. Always remember this one thing, that all the mammals will have 4-chambered heart, in which 2 of the chambers will be the upper chambers and they will be the left and the right atria or auricle. The lower chamber will be a little larger and it will be known as the ventricle and the right and left ventricles. Now, talking about all the fishes. The fishes. Now, fishes, they have 2-chambered heart. Their heart consists of only and only 2 chambers. They have 1 auricle and 1 ventricle. Now, what happens is that this auricle receives the deoxygenated blood, meaning, see, the blood that contains CO2 is an impure blood, okay, and it is, okay, wait. when the blood contains CO2, we'll call that kind of a blood as deoxygenated blood, or this blood can also be called as impure blood because this is not fit for our body. So it is impure blood. Now, when the blood contains the oxygen, then we'll call it as oxygenated blood. Clear? Now, the deoxygenated blood, where does it come from? See, when oxygen reaches to all the parts of our body, the oxygen gets used up. And when we use oxygen, what do we give up?
Carbon dioxide.
So after the oxygen has been used by our body, the CO2 is given out in the blood. Now, in the case of fishes, what happens is that the deoxygenated blood, the CO2 rich blood comes into the auricle. Then from the auricle, it goes into the ventricle. Now, the ventricle pumps out the deoxygenated blood, meaning the ventricle is pumping out the impure blood. Now, this blood, this CO2 rich blood goes into the gills where it gets oxygenated, meaning it gets cured, meaning the CO2 goes out, the oxygen gets in. And then this blood is distributed to the all different body parts. Clear? So because in the case of fishes, the heart is pumping out deoxygenated blood, that is why their circulation is called as incomplete circulation. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now you people write down. First you write down this part. Okay. You write down transportation. Give the heading as transportation. Done? Okay. Then you write down transportation of gases in our body. Transportation of gases in our body takes place. Transportation of gases in our body takes place with the help of blood. Transportation of gases takes place in our body with the help of blood. Full stop. Then next line you write down, blood is the fluid connective tissue of our body. Blood is the fluid connective tissue of our body. Full stop. Then you write down, blood is composed of plasma. Blood is composed of plasma. Okay. And put a dash and you write down, it is the fluid matrix. It is the fluid matrix of the blood. Okay. Plasma is the fluid matrix, matrix, fluid matrix of the blood, full stop. Then you write down, plasma transports food, CO2, nitrogenous phase. The 3 points that are written here. It transports food, comma, CO2, comma, nitrogenous waste. Done, everyone? Okay. Now, after that, you write down, the blood also contains The blood also contains A. You write down A, then you write down WBC. Put a dash and write down white blood cells. White blood cells. Or leukocytes. Kocytes. Leukocytes. Okay, so the blood contains WBCs, white blood cell or leukocyte, same. Then you write down comma RBCs. Then you write red blood cell or erythrocytes. Red blood cell or erythrocytes. And platelets. And platelets. The spelling of erythrocyte is ERYTHROCYTES. Erythrocytes. After that, you write down and platelets. Full stop. Clear? Everyone is writing? What about Gianna and Harshit? Are you people are also writing?
Yes.
Okay. Now you write down the blood is pumped by heart. The blood is pumped by the heart. Then you write down this line that heart is the pumping muscular organ. Heart is the pumping muscular organ. Heart is the pumping muscular organ. Now you can write about fishes. Okay. Now you give the heading hearts in fishes. Or circulation, or you write down as transportation in fishes. Transportation in fishes. Clear? Now you write down fishes have two-chambered heart. Fishes have two-chambered heart. One auricle and one ventricle is present. One auricle and one ventricle is present. Done? Okay. Now you write down the blood, the deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body comes into the atria or auricle. The word atria and auricle is the same. Okay, so the blood, the deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body come into the atria. From the atria, you write down, from the atria, the deoxygenated blood goes to the ventricle. From the atria, the deoxygenated blood goes into the ventricle. Full stop. Then you write down the ventricle pumps out deoxygenated blood. The ventricle pumps out deoxygenated blood. Okay, full stop. Then you write down this blood is carried to the gills. This blood is carried to the gills for oxygenation. this blood is carried to the lungs for oxygenation. And then it is distributed to all parts of the body. And then it is distributed to all parts of the body. Done? Everyone's done? Diana, Harshit, what about you? Please respond in the class.
Yes.
Done?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next line you write down. The circulation in fishes, the circulation in fishes is known as, the circulation in fishes is known as incomplete circulation. The circulation in fishes is known as incomplete circulation as the ventricles pump out deoxygenated blood. As the ventricle pumps out deoxygenated blood. Full stop. Done? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. So this was about fishes. Have you people understood how circulation happens in the fishes? Okay. Now we'll talk about the next type, that is for amphibians and reptiles. See, amphibians, we know that all those organisms that can live on the land and in the water, they are amphibians, such as frogs, isn't it? Frog is an amphibian. It can live on both land and water and in water. Now, reptiles are all those creepy, crawling organisms such as lizards, crocodiles, alligators, snakes. All of these are reptiles. Now, for amphibians and reptiles, they have three-chambered heart. Just like how fishes had two-chambered heart, now amphibians and reptiles, they have three-chambered heart, in which there are like two auricles and one ventricle. Okay, so right auricle, left auricle, but one ventricle. Okay, now all the amphibians and all the reptiles, they have a three-chambered heart except crocodile. Crocodile is a reptile, but even after that, it has four-chambered heart. Clear? Now, what happens in the case of amphibians and reptiles is that the oxygenated blood from the lungs comes to the left auricle. Okay? The deoxygenated blood from the rest of the body, it comes into the right auricle. Separate chambers are there which receives the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood. Now, after this, what happens is that both the blood get mixed up in the one ventricle. Okay? And then this one ventricle pumps out the mixed blood, meaning a blood which is carrying oxygen also and CO2 also. So this type of circulation in which mixed blood is pumped out by the ventricle is known as incomplete double circulation. Okay? Or we can also call it as mixed circulation. These are the two names. Okay? Any doubts?
So, ma'am, alligators have.
Yeah, they have three-chambered heart. Only crocodiles are the ones that have four-chambered heart. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. Now, just like how you wrote about fishes, now you write about amphibians and reptiles. You write down, amphibians and reptiles have three-chambered heart. Amphibians and reptiles have three-chambered heart. But students, before you write about this, have you drawn this in your book, in your notebook, this particular box-like thing, so that you'll understand? You can like draw this roughly so that you'll know what the thing is about. Okay, you can copy this down as well. Then, okay. Now, when you're writing about amphibians and reptiles, you write down amphibians and reptiles have three-chambered heart, except crocodiles. They have four-chambered heart. Amphibians and reptiles, they have three-chambered heart, except crocodiles, which have four-chambered heart. Okay. Now you write down the oxygenated. First, you write down that the three-chambered heart consists of. The three-chambered heart consists of the three-chambered heart consists of left and right auricles and one ventricle. Left and right auricle and one ventricle. Full stop. Then you write down the oxygenated blood. The oxygenated blood comes into the oxygenated blood comes into the left auricle. The oxygenated blood comes into the left auricle and the deoxygenated blood comes into the right auricle. The deoxygenated blood comes into the right auricle. Then both of these blood are mixed in the one ventricle. Both of the blood are mixed in one ventricle. Full stop. The ventricle pumps out. The ventricle pumps out the mixed blood. The ventricle pumps out the mixed blood. Okay. Because of this, the circulation is known as incomplete double circulation. Incomplete double circulation. Or mixed circulation. Done? Any doubts, students, up till now?
No.
You've understood how the circulation happens in the case of fishes and amphibians? Okay. Now you write down the next line. You write down mammals have, you write down all the mammals and crocodile. All the mammals and crocodile have four-chambered heart. All the mammals and crocodile have four-chambered heart, which consists of two auricles and two ventricles. Full stop. Okay. Now, you write down the circulation in humans is known as double circulation. The circulation in humans is known as double circulation. Done? Okay. Now see what happens actually in the case of double circulation. See, the double circulation consists of two things: pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. Now, pulmonary circulation is when the blood flows between the heart and the lung. Okay? Whenever the blood is flowing between the heart and the lungs, then that is known as pulmonary circulation. And whenever the blood flows between the heart and the rest of the body, then that is systemic circulation. Now see, what happens is that the deoxygenated blood from the body, it gets carried into the right auricle by vena cava. Okay, vena cava is name of a blood vessel. So the vena cava carries the CO2 rich blood into the right auricle. Now from the right auricle, the blood goes into the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle, the blood is pumped out and it goes to the lung. Why does it go to the lung?
Pulmonary circulation.
No, listen, yes, pulmonary circulation, but what happens is that the deoxygenated blood, which is pumped out by the right ventricle, it gets to the lungs to get oxygenated so that it can be purified. So, this blood from the right ventricle is carried by the pulmonary artery. This is the name of the artery which carries the blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. Now, in the lungs, when the blood is getting purified, after that, this the CO2 is removed, the O2 gets inside. Now, the oxygen-rich blood or the oxygenated blood is carried out by pulmonary vein into the left auricle. From the left auricle, it goes into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, the aorta carries it to the whole entire body. So this is the whole entire circulation which takes place in our body. Have you understood this?
Can you repeat it once?
Sure. See, this one is the only one that is complicated because 4 chambers are working. Now everyone has understood what is oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood? Okay.
Yes.
Apart from that, do you people also understand that the blood is carried in blood vessels like veins and arteries? Okay. Now see, let's start from the body. Okay. Now body has used the oxygen. Now body is giving out carbon dioxide. Now this carbon dioxide, it goes into the vena cava. Like it gets carried by the vena cava and it goes into the right auricle. From the right auricle, it goes into the right ventricle. And when the right ventricle pumps the blood, it goes into the pulmonary artery, which carries the blood to the lung for oxygenation. Now, when the blood gets oxygenated, now the blood is carried out by the pulmonary vein into the left auricle. Now, from the left auricle, the blood goes into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, the blood is carried out to the body with the help of aorta. Aorta is again the name of a blood vessel. So in this whole entire thing, you can see that the blood is being pumped by the heart 2 times. That is why the circulation in the 4-chambered heart is known as double circulation, because the blood circulates through the heart 2 times. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts? Anyone? Okay, now you see this blood, it is about all the blood vessels. So blood vessels involved in double circulation. Vena cava. It is a large vein that brings deoxygenated blood from the body cells to the right auricle of the heart, right? Then there is pulmonary artery. It is the only artery that carries deoxygenated blood. See, normally all the arteries, they will carry oxygenated blood except for the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. It carries the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricles to the lungs for purification of blood or oxygenation of blood. Then comes the pulmonary vein. Now, it is the only vein that carries oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left auricle. All the veins carry deoxygenated blood and all the arteries carry oxygenated blood. But there is an exception. Pulmonary veins carry the oxygenated blood and pulmonary artery carries the deoxygenated blood. Lastly, there is aorta. It is the largest artery that carries the oxygenated blood from the left ventricle to the whole entire body. Any doubts, students? You've understood this whole thing? Okay, see, I understand that this thing is very lengthy and it is very complicated also. But trust me, once you've read it like 2 to 3 times, you will clearly understand everything. Okay? All right. Now you people can note this down, and when you're noting it down, try to understand it also. Clear? You can switch off your video and write out. It's all right. Okay. While you're writing, you can switch off your video.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Everyone's done? Shall I scroll?
Yes, ma'am.